Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, look, I want to talk to you all about this redistricting. I can't even say the word. Damn, redistricting fight happening across our nation. Now, we've seen congressional map changes in Texas, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, and now we're seeing it done in my home state of Virginia. Virginia recently has started their early voting on either vote yes for the new change, the new congressional let me break it down for you like this. So in Virginia, there's a statewide referendum on a constitutional amendment about congressional redistricting. Now, should Virginia allow the state legislature to redraw congressional districts now, mid-decade, instead of waiting until 2030, which is the regular census cycle? Now, obviously, if you vote yes, it will temporarily allow the Virginia Assembly to redraw the congressional maps, potentially replace the current congressional map before the 2026 midterms. Now, a vote no will keep the current court-drawn district in place until the next cycle, the next census cycle. So I want to talk to you all about this whole redistricting thing going on because, again, it was a huge story in Texas. Why? Because Texas state legislators were on strike. They were nowhere to be seen in the state of Texas. You hear me? In the state of Texas, they were nowhere to be seen. And it extended long, which eventually they end up losing because they did not have the majority in their state legislature. You didn't see the strike happen like in the other states that I named earlier, but what you're seeing is, and it's gerrymandering, which I've spoken on this show. I am not a fan of, regardless who's in control. Gerrymandering in my opinion, takes it out of the citizens' hands, takes it out of the voters' hands, because gerrymandering, what that does is just give more power to one of the political parties, right? That's all that it does. Gives them the majority. So Virginia, which recently started their early voting on it, has that going on, and we're going to talk about it today here on the show. Also, I want to ask you all the question: this, are progressives helping or hurting the Democratic Party? I'll ask you guys that question again. Are progressives helping or hurting the Democratic Party? I'll give you my take later on the show, and if we have some time, I also want to talk about how the MAGA loyalists are thinning in Washington. A recent congressman who was involved in a very serious scandal had said, "Hey, look, I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to fight and run this election, and I'm going to win my re-election, and no one can stop me." And now all of a sudden he's out saying he's dropping out of a re-election. Why so? Where did all that strong confidence occur earlier? So as I mentioned, we gonna have a good conversation today on today's show. This is episode 538. Thank you, as always, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune in to yet another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, I want to thank my good buddy, AC Cordoza, former Virginia state delegate, Republican state delegate, AC Cordoza, who is currently the Republican chairman for the city of Hampton. And so I just want to thank him for coming on the show last time. We had a great conversation, and it was so good we couldn't finish it, so we're going to be having a part 2 shortly, so be on the lookout for that. My friends, we got a lot to discuss here. I also want to shout out my good friend, country music artist, really just artist. I want to say just country, but she's just an all-around just amazing artist, Roberta Lee. Shout out to Roberta Lee. She recently had her first ever music festival, y'all. Music festival is a day-long music festival called Too Much of a Woman Fest. And it's in the name. It was very woman empowering. You had loads of amazing musical artists. You had panel discussions. And it's funny because Roberta and her husband Nick are they're like fam. They're dear friends. And Roberta has the album, I believe, is called Too Much of a Woman, and you should go out and buy it. It's available on wherever you get your music at. But her hit song one of the hit songs is Too Much of a Woman, right? So I'm over here humming down, if I'm too much of a woman. And my wife was like, it's funny hearing you say that. I'm like, I know it's kind of weird, but it's so catchy. She has that one, and then she has a song called Girls Trip. I'm telling you, when you hear a catchy song, it's hard. It is hard, y'all. It is. But again, I want to shout her out because her success is continuing to rise. She's a part of a collective called the Black Opry, which is a group of extremely talented Black country singers. Because let's just be frank here. Country music, yes, it started in the Black community. It did. I want to hear the debates. Oh, here we go again, Arrington, bringing in the race stuff. No, I'm bringing in facts. Okay. It originated in the Black community. Now, the way it has been marketed since decades and decades ago, it's somewhat foreign to the Black community because, well, at the time you never saw a lot of public figures who were popular that of color that was country music artists. Okay. Let me tell you something. There's Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Black Americans that are amazing country artists, but it's not being promoted out there. It's not. When you turn on country music, you're like, oh, this is definitely white music. I'm not no, and it's not. Music is music. I've said this time and time again. Music is music. Music is universal language. Okay, there is no race when it comes to music because music is universal. But yeah, I want to shout out Roberta Lee again. Please go ahead and support independent music artists out there, and buy her music. Buy. What else do I got for y'all on today's lineup? I think that is it. So before we head to a break here, of course, I got to give you all the spiel. Be sure to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights, Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel, The Arrington Gavin Show, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's iHeart, Spotify, Apple, just to name a few. You can also check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. Okay, Goatverse TV. If you have not downloaded the app yet, please do so. App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, or Amazon Fire TV. Also, you can listen to us on the go. I've already mentioned podcasts, but also in your car. Shout out to our radio affiliates like KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM, Las Vegas. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Again, that's on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then lastly, we're heading to New Orleans, baby. In New Orleans, WBOK 1230 AM. You can tune into the show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. All right, my friends. So there's no excuse if you're saying, where can we find you? Where can we listen to the show? We're available. We're making it easy for you. We're making it easy for you. Tune in any platform, any market. We're continuing to grow and build the platform, which we are so blessed to do that. And also, too, as you know, we do have a campaign. We want y'all to continue to follow us and subscribe to our channel. If you haven't done so yet, please do so. Share with a friend, share with family. As we were talking on the last show, I think we had like three new subscribers to the channel. So that's what we love to see, right? I don't care if it's one a day, two a day. We would love to see thousands of days. But hey, growth is growth at the end of the day, and we truly appreciate those who continue to support the Arrington Gavin Show. All we are doing here is just to provide great conversation. Okay, great conversation, not partisan, conversation, but common sense. Yes, we're not going to agree on everything. That's common. Okay. See, one thing I'm noticing, and I'm not going to preach for you because we do have to head to a break, but one thing I'm noticing is common sense is starting to be used as a talking point in campaigns. It's time for common sense, Americans. It's time for common sense policies. It's time for common sense this, common sense that. Here's the thing. Everybody's common sense is nowadays not the normal common sense. People will say, oh yeah, common sense. Oh, that's what I want to vote for. But then when times happen, hey, you're not doing common sense stuff. How many times have you heard people do, let's just do some common sense stuff? What is really common sense nowadays? What is really common sense? Because I can go to places and I'll be like, these people do not have no common sense. Street smarts is what I call it. I say street smarts. We haven't done this in a while. I was working on a segment here on the show called Common Sense University. I think we still might do that eventually. But Common Sense University was going to be almost like a spoof of like America's Funny Home Videos, ridiculousness, and just funny stories that is just weird as weird as can be, because we have them in this world. We have them. We're not perfect. We are not perfect whatsoever. But yeah, I was gonna do something called Common Sense University. But anyways, look, let's head to a break here. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, that's that new Goldverse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of the app he said?
Introducing Goatverse TV.
Goatverse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Also, be sure to check out our website, www.theagshow.com. Get connected with me if you want to, again, stay connected. If you want to send us some topics, all that good stuff. We are, we're open to everything. We have questions, all that good stuff. All right. Now, enough with all that. Let's get it going with the convo. So I was talking about the redistricting fight. That's so hard to say. Redistricting fight happening across our nation. So as I mentioned earlier, Virginia's redistricting fight is happening because of a mix of national political strategy, control of Congress, and dissatisfaction with the current maps. Now, let me explain to you. Democrats say they are responding to GOP gerrymandering in other states. So states like Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio have all done this in order to gain more seats, and it can, adding it to their majority. So Florida, red state. Texas, red state. North Carolina, North Carolina is back and forth because they have a Democratic governor. So you can say purple. I could be wrong because but North Carolina is next door to us, and North Carolina is a big state, big state. And then you have Ohio. Now these maps helped Republicans gain multiple seats, as I mentioned earlier. Democrats said if those states are redrawing maps to gain seats, Virginia should respond rather than play by different rules. Okay, so for one, before we move forward, let me share you this clip from my good friend, Miss Amanda Nelson. Y'all know her as Amanda's Mild Takes. Here's what she had to say in regards to the gerrymandering and redistricting maps. So let me go ahead and share that to you all, and we'll talk on the other end.
Virginia is in a redistricting fight that we did not pick. We are being bullied by Republicans in states thousands of miles away, and it is time for us to fight back. As you know, Republican-controlled states are redrawing their congressional maps mid-decade. They're splitting the voting power of Democrats in their states to give themselves more seats in Congress before the midterms, because they're going to lose the midterms. Texas, North Carolina, Ohio, and Florida are doing it without voter approval, and in the case of Florida, against their own state constitution. If Virginia does nothing, our representation in Congress will shrink relative to the states that are actively manipulating their maps. Weeks ago, the newly seated Virginia House of Delegates passed an amendment to the state constitution. It would allow Virginia to redraw our congressional maps to protect our representation at the federal level. This is a temporary measure. The amendment expires in 2030 after the census. At that point, Virginia's bipartisan redistricting process would continue. The amendment for fair elections will be voted on by Virginians on April 21st, because in Virginia, the voters control our destiny. Voters will get to see the proposed congressional maps before we vote. If we reject the maps stay exactly as they are, and we lose the power of our voice in Congress to people like Ron DeSantis. He doesn't even go here. He barely goes to Florida.
I tell you, man, you gotta love Amanda, right? You gotta love Amanda. But to add to more what she was explaining here, Now Virginia's current congressional map is 6-5. I believe it's 6 Democrats, 5. Let me see, 5 Republicans. Yes, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. Excuse me. And that's how the current cycle is. Now, if you're a, someone who is into, just bipartisanship and kind of in the middle, you're like, hey, look, well, that seems kind of fair because 6 and 5. Why change that? Just to give you some more background on this, after 2020, United States Census, Virginia attempted to use a bipartisan redistricting commission created by voters, but the commission failed to reach an agreement. So the maps were ultimately drawn by the Virginia Supreme Court. Now, due to that, some Democrats believe the current maps favor Republicans more than Virginia's overall voting trends. Others believe the maps are actually fair and competitive. I mean, Democrats have the majority. They are a seat above. There is 6 and 5. So to say that it's in Republicans' favor, I don't know. I don't really, I'm not. I'm just. That's just my opinion. If someone says it's not fair and you all are in the lead, how is that not fair? I mean, you guys have the majority. Now Virginia, in folks can always go back and forth on what color Virginia is. On federal races, especially this last one, Virginia is considered a blue state. You have blue across the board on the governor's in the governor's seat, lieutenant governor's seat, attorney general seat, the House Senate and the state Senate and the state House, all Democratic majority. Now we have had Republican leadership. As far as for majority is concerned, it's been majority before, but not for long. We've always gone either Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, 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 Democrat. That's how the order has been. Recent elections show that the state is more competitive. Glenn Youngkin, as I mentioned, had won the governor's race in 2021. Republicans gained ground in suburban areas. Because of the shift, both parties believe district lines could determine who wins several key seats, including Virginia's 2nd congressional district, which is currently held by Congresswoman Jen Kiggins. Now, for those who tuned into the show about a few shows ago, I had Matt Strickler, who is a Democratic candidate running for Virginia's 2nd congressional district. He is a former Virginia State Secretary, Virginia Secretary of Natural and Historic Resources under the Northam administration. You also have Republican Ron Pittman, who represents District 1, and then Ben Klein, who's representing the 6th congressional district. Now, it's all timing because, again, you got to think of strategy, y'all. Currently, midterms is in the left's favor. Republicans are sucking right now in the midterms. They've lost a lot of special elections. We recently had the primaries in Texas and North Carolina, which I shared on here, and you're seeing shifts. You're seeing shifts. Republican elected officials is like, we ain't gonna win the midterms. It ain't looking too good for us in the midterms. And why is that? That's the question I always want to ask. Is like, why is that? That's my main freaking question, which I will have that when I bring back on AC Cordoza. But in retrospect, y'all, this whole congressional fight happening across the nation, it's not about maps. It's about power in Congress. Okay. It's about the power in Congress. you have, and I'm giving you different perspectives because would you want to live in a state where you have the majority due to hey, we're gonna do a gerrymander, we want to get more seats? Like, to me, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And see, the interesting thing is I've seen it firsthand affect elections. Come on, who hasn't, right? You're seeing it now during these primaries. When I look at something saying the proposed is showing 10 Democrats, 1 Republican. That's the new 10-1. So if you vote yes, that's what you want to see. If you vote no, you want to keep it at 6-5. And look, I had voted, I already voted early, and I love to be a fly on the wall because I keep my stuff to myself. But y'all know where I line as far as politically. But I live in a red city. I have neighbors. I mean, you can almost say I have a red neighborhood. I mean, seriously, I'm giving y'all just a little bit more about me. I have friends that are lean very conservative. That's not happy about this at all. I was a fly on the wall hearing folks when they were voting, and when they left saying, "Oh my God, temporary, fair, give me a break." Like, they were hot about it. And look, I understand if you are a person that leans one way and you're seeing the opposing party trying to make the majority theirs, and you are against their views. Look, I get it. I had a conversation with one of my good buddies that sit on the city council that leans conservative. They're not happy about it either, right? But at the end of the day, we know how the game is played. The game is played in order to, especially when it's the party politics, right? You have the two-party system. Everybody is wanting to gain that power. Everybody wants that power. And that's just what politics is, y'all. That's just what politics is. Again, I want to answer you the question why this fight is nationally important and not just here in the state. Virginia's redistricting battle is part of a national political arms race over congressional maps. Both parties are redrawing districts in different states to gain seats before the 2026 midterms, which could determine control of the U.S. House of Representatives. So the House is extremely slim right now. And look, you can say, hey, you can thank Donald Trump for that, because who else is the blame of the party's fall? Who is the blame to his disapproval ratings? Who is the blame for, like, when I hear folks say that he's the greatest of all times, he's the best, he's this, he's that, again, the Republican Party has a majority in both legislatures, if I'm not mistaken. Both in the Senate and in the House, they have the majority, and approval ratings is dropping. So who is the blame? You're still saying he's the greatest, but you guys are losing special elections. You can't say you're being out strategized. You cannot say you're being out strategized, because one thing I will say here, the left is not known for great strategy. Hello, have you seen the last election cycle? It was extremely poor. So you can't say they have a better strategy. You can't say they have a better message, because again, they don't have the majority. What is the change? Where is the change happening? Look, I've shared many clips of people who are who has called in shows, not mine, but I'm giving I've shared clips from C-SPAN that have said, look, I am a 3-time Trump voter. I am a registered Republican, and I want to apologize. We're seeing every single time long-standing Republicans and conservatives are leaving because of what's going on in Washington. Washington effed up state races, or is effing up state races in different states. I mean, but he's still the greatest. You're still standing up, clapping for this guy. Like, I'm not, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because of Washington, parties across the nation is fumbling. Red states are losing certain, districts and races. Like, what? I mean, it truly is an interesting, this is an interesting time, in my opinion. Let's see here. Do I have anything I would like to add for this? I don't think I do. Just to kind of I would like to share though real quick, because when I had mentioned census cycles, I know for sure a thing that went on in my head, and because I always try to make it make sense to you all, because look, I'm still a student when it comes to learning of just everything. I'm always a student of the game here. And I want to explain when I say census cycle, what a census cycle is. What census is a 10-year period between each national population count conduct by the federal government. So like in the United States, the census is required by the Constitution and is conducted by the United States Census Bureau every 10 years. So for example, 2020 United States Census counted the population. 2021 states like Virginia redrew their congressional and legislative districts. Those maps will only stay in place until the next census, which will be in 2030. So I just wanted to have a better understanding on the redistricting. Final comment on this though. We've seen, matter of fact, I have a clip from Virginia U.S. Senator Mark Warner explaining why the Democrats have all agreed and they're pursuing to change the districts in his opinion, and why this is happening.
Senator Warner, any comments just on why you're out today? What you plan to vote for and why?
Yeah, I'm voting yes, because I think we've got to level the playing field. Donald Trump has urged states like Texas and North Carolina to change their voting, redistricting mid-decade. In Virginia, we've got a plan, but voters get to decide. And I get a lot of questions all the time. People saying, what can we do to rein in the president? Well, we can take back the House.
Senator Warner, any comment?
So that was, again, U.S. Senator Mark Warner, an individual who is running for re-election. He made his announcement that he will be running for his sixth term. No, I'm sorry. 4 is his 4th term that he's seeking, but they serve 6-year terms in the U.S. Senate. If y'all don't recall, I had a conversation with the gentleman he's facing in the Democratic primary, Mark Moran, who was was a great guest, very brought in some great issues. But here's what those that are saying voting no for it is their reasons why. So, and I'm sharing this from a what is this called here? The Family Foundation Action. Family Foundation Action had posted this, saying that this weaponizes the Constitution. The amendment turns Virginia's Constitution into a political tool instead of protecting fair maps. It gives lawmakers more power over district lines and weakness trust in the system. Let's see here. Another one says, let politicians choose their voters, encourage partisan gerrymandering, ignore the will of the people. Look, all what they're saying is true. But then my follow-up will be, okay, what about Texas? What about Florida? What about North Carolina? What about Ohio? If you're frustrated, and if this is all, you cannot agree, because here's the thing, the administration was urging those red states to do that. They were urging. They just all of a sudden said out of the blue, hey, look, let's go ahead and change the redistricting. Let's go. No. They were told, okay? They were told because they saw that their fame, that their publicity was falling. Their stock value was dropping, okay? So what do? They start panicking and they're like, oh, we got to do something about this. Hey, let me hit up my buddy in Texas. Hey, hey, Greg, can we do this here? Hey, let me call on my buddy in Florida. Hey, DeSantis, can we do this? Like, that's what's happening. So I hear you. Look, you make valid points. I've shared my thoughts on the whole gerrymandering thing. I don't like it one damn bit, because I think that it does take I think it takes away. It takes away the rights of the voters. I don't look at. I mean, again, it's fair. It's fair elections when it comes on the congressional side. Not congressional. Well, yes, as far as in the U.S. House, but I don't think for locals it's quite fair, just because you already have a 6-5. It's 6-5, and you want to change it to 10-1. I don't know. I look at it funny. But I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I will let you be the judge of that, my friends. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick breather. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these breaks.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, College Player of the Year, All-Rookie Standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing other designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
People age 65 and older are at high risk of injury, especially from falls and car crashes. But Older adults can take steps to stay safe from injury and be independent longer. Tell your doctor if you have fallen, if you worry about falling, or if you feel unsteady when standing or walking. Learn more about preventing falls and aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Look, I am. Ooh, did you hear my voice crack there? All right, let me stop. Look, I asked you all a question earlier. Are progressives helping or hurting the Democratic Party? Are they helping or hurting the Democratic Party? Now, this, I bring this up is because recently, there was a, well, I think it was actually last year. Long time, very popular Democratic strategist James Carville, the man who quoted the slogan, "It's the economy, stupid." Racing Cajun, they had so many nicknames. He had shared on a podcast his thoughts about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who is members of the members of the squad. There's the squad. There's a group of multiple women that serves in Congress. And they created a group, well, women and men at the time. I think Jamal Bowman, congressman out of New York, was a part of that group. But Ilhan Omar represents Minnesota. She is also the chair of the Progressive Caucus. And she has been known to speak what's on her mind that doesn't quite always agree, of course, with folks on the right, but even folks in her own party. Now, let me share you this clip here. James Carville shared his response to Ilhan Omar, I think, saying that the reasons why we're in this position, or let me just share her quote, which you're going to repeat. You're going to hear it again from James Carville, but he got ticked off when Ilhan went on this attack on white males. Okay, she went on an attack on white males. She had said, what was it? Well, let me just play you the clip here.
Maybe we need a schism, and maybe we need a schism with the so far progressive left. I want to read something. Our country should be more fearful of white men because they're causing most of the deaths within this country. Ilhan Omar. Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right.
So that right there had went viral, obviously, because, as I mentioned, his status as a Democratic strategist, a man that's not shy away from holding his tongue, regardless of who the candidate is. But he has been known to share proof, right? What he says makes perfect sense. And that's why I bring up the question, are progressives helping or hurting the party? So since then, because that clip was taken in May of 2025 on his podcast, Politics War Room. And yeah, he said, honestly, start your own party. That's what he said. And so now he's doubling down on what he has said. He was recently on Stephen A. Smith's program, his SiriusXM political show, Straight Shooter, which you can listen to on POTUS, I believe, weekly, because he also has a sports show on Sirius as well. He had, I'm gonna read you this. I'm gonna see where I want to start. Okay. He was responding to Omar saying in February of 2018 to Al Jazeera that our country should be more fearful of white men because they're causing most of the deaths within this country. Now, that's where I agree with James Carville. I just, at a certain level, progressives do push it a little bit, because explain, because if Donald Trump said that we should be fearful of black women because they're causing most of the death within the country, they will go ham, because look, Trump says wild stuff like that. Okay, that's something Trump will say. But she's saying that, and I don't know if she's saying that in regards to responding to Trump or to this administration, but well, no, because in 2018 Trump was not in. Yes, he was. Let me backtrack. But was she saying that in responding to Trump? Because here's the thing, I'm sorry, I don't agree with the comment of we're fearful of white men. Can you be specific? Are you saying all white men are causing most of the deaths within this country? Like that's just to me, if I was a strategist, if I was her campaign manager, I would say, dude, why would you say that? Why would you say that? That doesn't make any sense. You're literally, and so with Carville being a strategist, he is. This is what he's saying. He said, his response. Okay. Carville said in his response that Omar should start her own party and just caucus with Democrats. Lawmakers like Omar, he added, are more troubled than they're worth. And it's right, because see, folks like a Omar, and I know this because look, I talk with my conservative friends, people like Omar and AOC, Imam Dani, even though Imam Dani is only serving on a local level, but I'll just say AOC, Ilhan, that is ammunition for the right. Okay, that's ammunition for them, because they will continue to campaign on the fact that you want to vote for this person who said this and that and that, and then it turns out to be a back and forth. It gets old. And James Carville says what they're doing to the Democratic Party is not helping them, is not a winning strategy. It's not going to gain them voters. He argued, and I quote, he said, I met her one time, and first of all, okay, and this, he's sharing his experience when he met, I believe we met, no, I did, I'm making sure if this is a quote where he spoke with AOC, or okay, no, this is when he met Ilhan Omar. Okay, so he says, I met her one time, and first of all, she's very attractive, soft-spoken lady. I have a lot of friends in the Minneapolis, and a lot of people think well of her, but she started attacking white males, and I'm gonna say, wait a minute, let's stop. All right, in 2024, 72% of the people that vote were white. All right, that's just a fact. Of the 72, probably 48% or 48.5 were male. So it's somewhere around, I did the math on the thing, about 33% of people that are gonna vote are gonna be white males. Well, it's stupid to attack 33% of voters. You don't want to start there. What you try to do is you start and you build up. And so what I would say to Congressman Omar, why don't you be a Democratic Socialist of America? Do what AOC did. And then if they win, the truth of that, I'll share a lot of ideological issues in common with Congressman Omar, but maybe you should do like a parliamentary government will let you in the governing coalition, but not the electoral coalition. Okay. He then went on, he added on saying, he said, you win an election. Carville added, you win an election without white males is just insanity. It's literally mathematically insanity, culturally insanity. What's your take on what James Carville had to say about that? Because what I did, I pulled up some stats, because I one thing I've noticed is when it's on a local side, even on a federal level, progressives are not thriving on a federal level, in my opinion, and I'm gonna explain why. Because when I look at progressives like, okay, Cori Bush lost in her primary. I saw, oh Lord, Jamal Bowman lost in his primary. Oh, there's another individual that I literally have on the tip of my tongue, but well, I want to consider her extremely progressive. I was gonna say Jasmine Crockett because she lost in the Senate primary, Democratic primary, to Tellerico, who Tellerico is not progressive by any means. He might will pull a pinch, but he's really, me personally, I don't see him as progressive. But check this out. An axial analysis of Democrat House primaries found that moderate candidates won 14 of 22 races when directly competing against progressive. That means moderates won about 2/3 of those matchups. Now, other trackers have found similar results. Okay, for example, 538 tracking of progressive endorsements found progressive-backed candidates lost more races than they won in several cycles. And the question is, why is that? Why is that? Like, is it the strategy of sometimes progressive can go a bit overboard with stuff in their messaging? Is that the case? Do they go a little overboard with the messaging? Because I see I see a ton of progressive candidates run, but it's a matter on do they, and look, every state is different. Every state has different views. And sometimes I think a number of people have progressive views in them, but are they winning elections? Because listen, you don't see a lot of established Democrats endorsing progressives. You don't. Long-term elected officials, they don't normally endorse progressives. It's quite rare. It's quite rare to see that. But look, I have my progressive friends. I would love to have them on, hear that, get their take on it, because I don't want to speak for everybody, because I don't consider myself progressive. Here's why I'm bringing this up, is because if the Democratic Party as a whole is trying to win, and you all are wrestling with the fact that you have progressives against moderates, and y'all ain't seeing eye to eye, you're like, okay, we're gonna remember that come re-election. Okay, but then if those moderates win, then what do you have to say for yourself? I mean, what do you do? One thing, moderates often win swing states. Swing districts. They often win in swing districts. A study analyzing ideological positioning found moderation can slightly increase Democratic vote share, particularly in high-profile races where voters pay attention to ideology. Now, here in the Commonwealth, our the governor here is as the interesting thing is I've never physically or ever heard her say she's a moderate. People that did not vote for her are always gonna assume they were like, oh, well, she went by moderate, but her views are this. Look, and I've explained this time and time again. candidates are going to say stuff that people want to hear. At the end of the day, they're trying to gain your vote. They are trying to get your vote so they can get in office. That's just how the game is played, people. Look, I'm not the smartest man in the bunch. This is common sense. This is common sense, okay? Now, I'm not saying progressives do not win at all, but it's mostly in blue safe districts and territories. It's mostly like I said, Mamdani won in a landslide because, well, New York is leans with his views. Okay, I'll just break it down to you right there. Because Mamdani did not hide what his values were, but he still won because that's New York. That's New York. Progressives will probably will win in New York. Progressives might even win in California, right? Rashida Tlaib is another individual who's been a part of the squad. But the squad is what? About 3 members now. I mean, that's the progressives. Now you can consider Bernie progressives, but you know, Bernie been in office for a while, but Bernie's an independent. He's one of the only few independent elected officials currently in Washington. So it's interesting, y'all. It is very, very, very interesting. And I say all this because it's midterm season. We have elections happening. We have local races happening across the nation. I will be bringing on candidates in my home city who's running for office, and I also plan on bringing some folks from other states. And we're going to continue to give y'all great conversation, and we want you to hear from both sides of the aisle because we're in a time right now. Look, everybody's tired. Everybody is sick and tired of the BS happening. They're tired of seeing prices going up. They're tired of war this, war that. They're tired of promises never being met. They're tired of the same old cycle. They're tired of seeing people in office getting pushed in a wheelchair running for re-election. Okay, people are tired. You hear me? I am extremely tired because you want to pray for hope, but it's like, how can you pray for hope when person in office been in there, since the 1900s, and they want to run for re-election, and it turns out to be more of a make it about me and not about the mission, the people, right? The constituents. If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong, but I think I'm right on this one. Well, as always, my friends, time goes by so fast. I hope you enjoyed the conversation here on this show. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Instagram is probably our most popular. Instagram, TikTok, okay, Facebook. Check out our website again, www.theagshow.com, okay, theagshow.com. And hope you guys stay safe out there. Continue to stay informed. Stay informed. You do your own research, all right? All right, I'm going to head on out. I'll talk to y'all soon.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.